Hi, Nicole here. Welcome to another video. In today's video, I am breaking down my video kit that I'm currently working with. I've been building this up for almost 5 years now, and I thought it'd be helpful if you are thinking about adding video to your brand photography business, some of the steps I took along the way for gear and for back-end processing. So let's start there. Right out of the gate, I would suggest start practicing on yourself. Do it for your business, and you will start to fine-tune your workflow and your process on how you're going to deliver it to an actual client. So you may already have a DSLR, hopefully, if you have a professional photography business, and it'll have video capabilities. So you could start there. You could start with your iPhone. You could start with a GoPro, something that is going to film you, that you can capture content and then run through the whole process. But with that said, here are some things that you also need to consider before you even start thinking about offering this to your clients. Now with photography, we know that with all the megapixels, cards, you need to get bigger cards. Video is even bigger memory. So I have been using, this is a 512 gigabyte. It's the Atlas Pro, it's OWC, and I've been using this. It has really fast write speeds. These are not cheap, as you know. So getting your memory right, because you would hate to be on a job and you run out of memory. Once I purchased this card, I needed to buy a new card reader, of course, that would handle this type of card. So that was another investment out of the gate, more memory, new card reader. Now, with all this new content and files, that meant that my drives also had to be updated, upgraded, and enhanced. So I now have, when I come home and download, I have a 14 terabyte drive on my desk, and video, photo content is going on the 14 terabyte drive. You'd be surprised how fast you can fill these up. I have had multiple at this point, and another thing to consider. Okay, now I use Final Cut Pro on my Apple. There's obviously Adobe Premiere, other people that love that as well. So I have been using that, and as long as you're capturing your content, download, you have enough memory, you're putting it on your drive, and now you can play with it in a software program. Even start with iMovie if you don't have anything else. It starts the process and your flow, so then you're more streamlined and efficient when you're actually doing it for a client. Okay, let's get into the gear. All right, so the first item that I invested, besides the card and the drive and the reader for my video, was audio. Now, right out of the gate, you can tell when audio is off, and so that really can affect the actual production. So I went with the Rode Wireless Go system. I have the lapel mic on right now, and it's nice because it just clips onto clothing. You don't have to get the lapel, but I liked having the lapel better, and I can move around. You can still hear me if I turn my back to you. And I have it plugged into the Zoom H6. Now, what I am doing is I am capturing the audio separately, then having the audio go into my camera, because now I have two separate pieces of content that I can put together at the end, and it just makes for a better product at the end, because you never know with a file if the audio isn't being captured correctly. I just get much better quality audio when I'm doing it this way. I've been doing this for years, and it's now part of my workflow. So audio was definitely something that I wanted to do first. Okay. Another piece of equipment that I jumped to was actually a slider. I knew I had my camera and something to make my end product more dynamic. I needed some movement. I only had my photography tripod, so I wanted to get something that I could provide some creativity. And this is the slider that I went with. Why I like this company, it has so many different cool features, but you can build up your kit. You don't have to buy one enormous kit right out of the gate. And I actually bought it without the motor initially, and I was just hand moving, sliding the camera, and it worked great. So here is a piece of content that I took when I did not have the motor, and I just love this little piece, and it really got me hooked on doing video for my brand clients. All right, so then obviously I upgraded to the motor, and it's controlled with an app on my phone, and it just makes for a really fluid movement. And so that has been a great addition as well. Now, I started using this, and it was this that I started thinking about my tripod. Now, I still continue to use my photography tripod, but I was finding that for balance sake and for ease of taking this on and off, I ended up recently getting a tripod dedicated for video. So tripods can get really expensive. This is $160. It's by Small Rig. It has a fluid head. It has a release plate that is a Manfrotto release plate, and it's kind of universal to everything I have. It has a great weight. I just recently did a video just on this tripod alone, and this has been a great add-on to my kit, and this is probably my most recent purchase for tripod. So I wanted to show you that. But you can certainly use your photography tripod in the meantime when you're first starting out. All right, so another thing to consider, and depending on your clients and where you are filming your clients, lighting may become something that you need. Now, right now I'm using my flashpoint system that I use for my photography, but there is a fan noise, which is another great thing for my lapel mic and my mic system. You won't be able to hear the lapel noise. You won't be able to hear the fan noise if I was just going directly into the camera. Okay, so I upgraded to an LED light, and there's no fan. It's really powerful. It's really compact. This is the Aputure 120D number 2. Okay, so I will link everything down below so you can start your research. Certainly, I did not buy everything from day one. I've been building up, and this light has been great. I use it also for like product photography as well. So I like having multi-purpose. With that light, obviously you have your C-stand, which you already have. You have your sandbag, and you need a modifier. So this is a 38-inch, and I also have a grid on there as well. All right, so now we're gonna open up the Pelican. I'm gonna show you all the other little details that I've been purchasing along the way. So when I first started out, I was using my Canon 5D Mark IV. I've since updated my camera. I have my mirrorless. This is the Canon R5C. C is for cinema, and it's really great for the video work that I'm doing. So this was a major upgrade for the whole kit. With that recent update, I ended up getting the 24-70 lens. I'm using my original 24-70 lens that I've had for probably 8 years right now, and I just recently updated to the mirrorless, the RF lens for the Canon R5C, so that's going to be exciting to use as well. With audio, I also do have the Rode shotgun mic. Now, depending again on your clientele and how you're shooting, this could be great, especially if you're using a cage system, which I'm going to show you, and you're doing audio on the fly and they're not going to be mic'd, let's say. This is also a great solution too. Another piece of equipment that when you're filming yourself and when you're filming your clients, but when I found when I was filming myself, I couldn't see what the camera was seeing with my 5D Mark IV, and a monitor was important. So once I got this Atomos monitor, This was great because now I could see what I was filming. And then when I'm on location with clients, we can also see on a bigger screen how the filming is going. So that is an amazing piece of equipment that I procured along the way. Okay, so then let's see, then I got into the cage. So I have a small rig cage. This is specific to the Canon R5C. So depending on the camera that you have, you can search for your specific camera. And the cage essentially makes it more mobile. So if you're capturing video, you're following your clients walking through their space or they're moving, then you want something where you can move and track them so the camera will fit right in here. I have a whole other video of all the details of the cage, so I will link that below. But all these parts and pieces come apart, put together. And with video, there's always battery life. And with the cage, I had to update, and this battery sits on the back end of the cage, so I have enough power, because you will find that power goes really quickly once you start filming video. All right, and when I am on location recording, if someone's doing on-camera interview, or they're just speaking and I need to make sure the audio is right, and when I am back in my office and I'm going through Final Cut Pro and processing the video, I have a pair of headphones that I wear, and these have been great. I've been using these since almost the beginning, so I'll link these. These are always good because you really need to hear all the nuances in the audio. Okay, so let's see, anything else? I have this little light, which is great. I also use this in product photography, but it's meant for video, and it comes with a diffuser. It's the same brand as this light, the Aputure, and it has so many different settings, but it's very powerful. So if you need a supplemental light somewhere, this is great, and you can mount it to stands, but this has been a great, under $200, I believe, light. And of course, everything, I try to keep everything condensed and efficient, so everything fits in this large Pelican bag. And I think I've covered it all. Now, in the beginning, you may have seen that I had my cart. That is the multi-cart, the R12, and I've been using that for years for my photography business, so it made sense when I'm rolling all this equipment in to a location that I was able to do that efficiently, so that cart is always in play as well. All right, I know this was a lot. Please let me know if you have any questions. This is still not complete. I'm sure I'll be purchasing more things in the future and I'll let you know, but this is kind of where I am at the 5-year mark. And think about where you are, what equipment you have that you could then start practicing with yourself first so you can get that workflow down. But please let me know if you have any questions. I'll link to some of my video work as well so you can see what everything has accumulated to. Okay, talk to you soon and have a great day.